Robbery suspects arrive from Kokopo. Prime Minister stresses growth and development for New Year. And 8-year-old cancer patient appeals for help to get home.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Friday's news. The two suspects allegedly involved in the 1.2 million kina heist, who were apprehended in East New Britain, have been airlifted to Port Moresby today. Alphonse Moha from Moresby and Manu's parentage and Dermot Wokinup from East Sepik were escorted by police and correctional officers on an Air New Guinea flight from Tokua. Once they arrived in Port Moresby, they were handed over to Port Moresby Police for interrogations and formal arrests.
The NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Ben Tui and Airport Police Station Commander Robert Wane were at the airport to receive the two men. They were picked up by the officers from the Criminal Investigation Division and transported to the Boroko station, where they were further questioned before they were arrested for armed robbery. The two men fled Port Moresby 7 weeks after the robbery took place on November 3rd this year. They were apprehended in East New Britain during exercise Kivovong last Saturday and were detained at the Kokopo police station until their repatriation to Port Moresby today. So far, 3 other men have been arrested in relation to the robbery. One is a reservist police officer, the other is a bank employee, and the third an employee of Tropic Air. The 3 pistols used in the robbery and one of the 3 vehicles used as the getaway were retrieved by police. For these 2 suspects, police bail have been refused and they will be remanded at the Waigani police cells awaiting their court hearing. Thakla Gunga, National EMTV News.
A vehicle registered to Media New Guinea Limited was retrieved by Port Moresby Police after it was used in a robbery yesterday. The vehicle, a Nissan X-Trail stolen from the Garden City basement last Wednesday, was abandoned at Waigani. Police reports revealed that a huge amount of money in cash was stolen from Supreme Industries between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. yesterday. No suspects have been arrested as yet, but police are appealing to Port Moresby residents to come forward with information that may lead to arrests. The Supreme Industries robbery came hours after an Asian shop at 9 Mile in Port Moresby was robbed. A couple have been left devastated after they lost their only child in a blaze at Morata Force Settlement in Port Moresby last night. Grandmother Evelyn Piasso told EMTV News that the fire started from a candlelight which burnt the entire house, including the toddler who was asleep in the house.
EMTV arrived at the scene and saw remnants of the burnt house that took away the life of 16-month-old baby Lynn Piasso from Wabek. Grandmother Evelyn Piasso said the fire started around 11 p.m. when she was away to source water. She said the cause of the fire is believed to have come from a candlelight in the house.
So me go pula wara no got power house, so me light him candle. Me sleeping baby inside house. So accident them come up.
Residents said attempts to stop the flame were unsuccessful because there was no water supply. Neighbor Gideon Lionel said they were unable to save the baby too because the place was so dark and they could not identify where the baby was. But they managed to prevent a nearby house from burning using little water they had.
Mamito me plow all over the place. Now where the soul when by 80 when I walk blow me plow stopping fire and where I am completely am no god. So me plow been sorry or some asked them the slouch. Kaya one pla baby or cargo, one time all belongings or something. Stein said, go.
This prompted community leaders to call for immediate intervention from local MP Michael Malabak and NCD Governor Powes Pakop to bring water supply and electricity into their homes. They claim that they have developed the place and in one way or the other contributed to the development of this nation.
Tu plan bin help him to sort why tu plan bin losing me long. This la side na. Time blow lexin, time blow one blow ebi come up. Find him money come. Emi non good plan mo. Good plalong Saridim Road. Good plalong giving me plalong wara. Good plalong you talk a PNG Pawalo Salip Pawaigam. Look at him, me plow se Papua New Guinea Weblo, look at him in Ablo, look at him.
Eric Arupman, National MTV News.
It is this time of the year that people start to make resolutions in preparation to welcome the new year. It's a tradition that they make promises to do an act of self-improvement as individuals in their lives. Our news crew went around the capital city today to hear what residents had to say.
New Year is just a day away, and all over Port Moresby, people have made some New Year's resolution for 2017. The New Year resolution included both the young and old. Most says it's a year to reflect, change and move on with life. For Caleb, as a student, he will have to work hard in school to proper his education. While for others, it's about changing ways and attitudes.
Lusimbiana, drink lo special occasion to so. Na happy new year lo community, lo stage 2.
I was stopping a long about the street. Time lari todo lo mapa na stop si laos. Kama good girl na stop.
Samplong gaman o all talk straight o minus away. Okay, me yet, me kill him smoke. No time tomorrow night 12 o'clock. Me back kill him smoke na.
New Year tomorrow so. Me no feel on fever of the New Year, so I don't think I'll make on resolution. I think I'll be the same. Hope so.
Sawato Hahambu, National MTV News.
Lay Police will continue the New Year operation after carrying out a successful Christmas operation. Lay Metropolitan Commander Chief Superintendent Anthony Wagambi said there will be 24-hour police presence at strategic locations all over the city. Wagambi said last New Year's celebration was peaceful and police will ensure this New Year will be the same. Martha Lewis with this report.
Lay Police will have its full strength on the ground to conduct the New Year operations. Half of its mobile squad, 13, are back from Medang. All personnel will be utilized in this operation. In previous years, Lay had a reputation of ethnic clashes, stoning of random vehicles, harassment on the general public by drunks, and general disorderly conduct by individuals. It has also become a trend days leading up to the festive periods where armed robberies and stolen motor vehicles are expected to rise. However, over the last 3 months, there has been a decline in these criminal activities. This is all thanks to the sector patrol concept that was implemented. Wagambi warned residents to celebrate in an orderly manner because police will not hesitate to arrest troublemakers.
No one come out the streets now walking. Members of community.
The Lay Metropolitan Commander is also appealing to criminal elements to stop engaging in illegal activities. Leaders are also asked to work with police to engage youths in activities to ensure the community is safe. Martha Lewis, National MTV News, Lay.
Prime Minister Peter ONeils says Papua New Guinea has been through one of the most difficult years in recent history, surviving the downturn in global commodity prices made worse by drought. In his New Year message, he said, as a nation, we have so much to be proud of as we enter into 2017.
Global challenges have placed pressure on Papua New Guinea's economy, the Prime Minister says, described as one of the most difficult years in the country's recent history. Prime Minister Peter ONeils says the country has survived through with domestic challenges also to be addressed,
which was made worse by the drought that we recently faced. We have also seen some domestic challenges, but together we overcame each and every challenge. And today we are a stronger country because of this. What makes Papua New Guinea great is our unity. We might be from different villages or provinces, but together we are all proud Papua New Guineans.
Mr. ONeils said the government was happy to be part of the change, delivering some of its policies this year. The government will continue to change the world's perception on Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea is a country that is changing, and we are all part of this change. From a nation of villages, we are becoming a modern and a proud nation in a space of a single generation. And in around the world, Papua New Guineans are representing us in business and government.
The Prime Minister said that the government will continue to deliver to the people of this nation.
You have our commitment that as your government, we will work together in making sure that Papua New Guineans continue to benefit from this change. Please stay safe, look after your families and your communities, and let us continue to work together so that we can build a stronger Papua New Guinea in 2017. Have a happy New Year, Papua New Guinea.
Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
You're at National EMTV News. Among other stories, 8-year-old cancer patient appeals for help to get home. Stay with us. Welcome back. Clan elders in Butibam village in Ley have highlighted serious concerns about the rapid loss of culture and their language. While small efforts are being made to raise awareness, families are being encouraged to keep their Kawa language alive. In 2017, elementary school students will be taught lessons using the language.
Over the last 50 years, Butibam has developed into an urban village located in Ley City. Like many other urban villages, the culture and more importantly, their language is fast falling out of use.
Beginning man blomi, pijini kam blomi, na mi talk flashback. Mem challenges blomi long. Inshallah family, all get a me pla, all get a go tumuna tu must try no talk plus. Me try no encourage him talk plus within the family unit.
Kawa is the language spoken along the Huon coast. It's a big language group that includes the people of Butibam. Village elders of one of the Butibam clans say the language is not being spoken anymore by the younger generation in Butibam. It has become a big concern for them.
But so smart bla Bukawa ikam na throw my neck long. Talk Kawa ikam me, I know he's from Bukawa. Salamo at you, suppose I'm ikam na I'm mas blong. Salamo side ya. Talk Kawa bla. All two by then 5 years and I suppose me go na me throw my one bla. Talk place about Salamawa or Bukawa can I but Manahi. Me play identify me play yet long. Up and down no talk place from Kawa.
Like many language groups in Papua New Guinea, Kawa is unwritten and thrives only if many people speak the language. And like other language groups, the culture, history, family links and traditional understanding is embedded in the language. For Ali Isaac, whose children grew up in other provinces, learning and teaching the language has become a priority on many fronts.
Talkless Kawa and me start off me face out now. Me plus I face him suppose time money line come sinano sing sorry long on him. You know got man long. Sing more this a song or tomorrow sing or mama papa sing or became this part. I'm not got. Me plus I realize all the man sing or church song I wanted something so I go. But sing was sorry I mean it's dying out. Maybe about 4 or 5 people in the village now, right now, only Sawel or maintaining this song long. Tomorrow sing. If they don't turn up long, house cry or want something. You know, I'm hard to you by sing. Plan man by sing down by no got all singing sorry or singing no this a time like go enough to write that.
Or Paloma here, they 10 long. Okay, school me like starting top place. Now looking this land only moving or picking it go long way long. Come inside here.
The village has made small but important strides to teach the language to children in elementary school. But elders admit much of the responsibility lies with the parents. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Ley.
The customary tradition of sharing shell money in East New Britain concluded the burial ceremony for the late Lady Kaludia Matane today. New Ireland Governor Sir Julius Chan described the late Lady Kaludia as a beacon of light that shone prominently in the successful career path achieved by Sir Julius Matane as Secretary for Business Development and Foreign Affairs and PNG Envoy to the United Nations in the early years and more recently as the Governor-General of Papua New Guinea. Sir Julius said their close work together and success demonstrated a message of true partnership of loyalty. He said that Lady Kaludia was a respected woman around at various circles as one that propagated a better place for families and citizens. While most people are celebrating the festive season with their families, one 8-year-old from Mount Hagen needs help getting back home to his family before his health condition reaches a critical stage. His mother spoke to EMTV on his behalf, appealing to anyone out there who can help them to return home.
Like Terry from Togoba village, about 10 kilometers from Mount Hagen. He was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, a cancer of the bone marrow which generates abnormal blood cells. Like he was transferred from Mount Hagen Hospital to Port Moresby General Hospital early last month.
2 months, 2 weeks now. Na middle sleep get up nothing me pili me no one bell. Na sabas lawyer MCTM life and me looking mat lig.
She says like his father is just a villager who cannot afford their return tickets back home. At the same time, they do not have any relatives here in the capital.
No got one talk lawyer. No got one line bell be me bla. Just like I me looking na. Larvin yet now I'm work for the same time. Him can work out na me go about right.
They believe there are kind-hearted people out there who will hear their cry for help.
Me like you help me like go back. Na me plus sleep get up nothing low sick me looking was me no feel was me no good lo me plus sleep get up nothing. Me like you help me na me plus think till go back na me ask me plus.
Gaile Kivali National MTV News.
Police in Wewak have reported the death of a man believed to be in his 30s who was gunned down in an exchange with a patrolling unit this morning. The man retaliated after he was discovered packing marijuana into a 10-kilogram bag of rice at Saksak compound in Wewak town. Police recovered from the scene a revolver pistol, kitchen knife and the illicit drug. East Sepik Provincial Police Commander Philip Peter confirmed the narcotic would have a street value of over 150,000 kina. Two cooperatives made up of farmers in Nawaib and the Markham districts are reviving a rural business development model. The engagement of local farmers in Neknasi, the coffee cooperative, and Chingwam, the rice cooperatives, puts money directly into the people's pockets. Despite the difference in their activities, both have one thing in common. They give a glimpse of economic independence for the rural people. If managed well and they grow, rural agricultural cooperatives have the potential to create wealth, make jobs, and shape the country. Bethany Herman has more.
In Moresby, already making headways in the agricultural sector, is the Markham Rice Cooperative Chingwam. With the help of rice company Trukai, they've sold 6 hectares of rice back to Trukai and made 15,000 kina. They are now preparing to plant more.
I think we plan 100 hectares. Now we plan walk long. We plan planning 30 hectares or 40 hectares finish. Planning finish, go down finish.
Economic independence and in rural Papua New Guinea means money going directly into the people's pockets and a diversified economy away from the non-renewable sectors. The people already own over 90% of the land and they stay in control of their destiny, but at the same time contribute to the economy more meaningfully. Another cooperative, Neknasi, a coffee cooperative in the Boana area, the 200-plus farmers have shipped their first export coffee bags to Australia using the export license. But what's unique about Neknasi is it didn't get support from the government or a company in its initial stages.
Melbourne, Australia,
working fair shipment finish. Thank you.
The cooperative has said they want to stay well away from politics. Neknasi is truly economically and politically independent. During political speeches, politicians have attributed Neknasi's successes to their own political will, but that has never been the case. The cooperative, like many other cooperatives, grew on its own. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Leh.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at 0.3150 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying 0.3075 US dollars, 0.4236 Australian dollars, 0.2906 euro and 35.56 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold closed higher while coffee, cocoa and copra closed the day lower. Palm oil, copper and crude oil all closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 13 points lower, the ASX is trading at 14 points higher and the ONeils is trading at 20 points lower. When we return, overseas news. Don't go away. Welcome back. Turning overseas, only 5% of the Cuban population is estimated to enjoy internet at home and strictly under government-granted permission. Downtown Havana resident Margarita Marquez says she received a special Christmas gift this year, web access at home, a rarity in a country with one of the lowest internet penetration rates in the world.
Marquez is a 67-year-old retired university professor and one of the Cubans selected by the government to participate in a pilot project, bringing the web into the homes of 2,000 inhabitants of the historic center of the island's capital. Most of Cuba's 11.2 million residents only have access to internet at Wi-Fi hotspots, and only then if they can afford the 1.5 hourly tariff that represents nearly 10% of the average monthly state salary. Marquez's 80-year-old sister, Leonor Franco, was equally excited as the two sat in front of a laptop, surfing the web and listening to their favorite singers on YouTube. Franco said she wanted to learn how to surf the web properly so she could make the most of the experiment as long as the government provided internet access for free. She worried the sisters won't be able to afford it once they have to start paying for the service in March. While the cost of internet has dropped in recent years, it is still prohibitive for most Cubans. Cuba says it has been slow to develop the infrastructure for internet because of high costs and partly because of U.S. trade embargo. Critics say the real reason is fear of losing control. For now, residents flock to Wi-Fi hotspots that have slowly been popping up since last year in order to connect. Before Wi-Fi signals became available last year, broadband internet access has been limited largely to desktops at state internet parlors and pricey hotels. Melissa Goviro, EMTV World News.
The Russian Defense Ministry has confirmed its plane en route to Syria with 92 people on board crashed into the Black Sea on Christmas Day. Russian Transport Minister said no survivors were found at the crash site.
Три документа. Первый документ между сирийским правительством и вооруженной оппозицией о прекращении огня на территории Сирийской Арабской Республики. Второй документ – это комплекс мер по контролю за режимом прекращения огня. И третий документ – заявление о готовности к началу мирных переговоров.
He also said that Russia has agreed to reduce its military deployment in Syria. The Syrian army said Islamic State, former Al-Qaeda militants, and groups linked to them were excluded from the deal. Moscow said Syria's President Bashar al-Assad has committed to observe the truce in a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Melissa Goviro, EMTV World News.
A man who claims he was an assassin has come forward with explosive claims. He said Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte, previously a mayor, once ran secret death squads and ordered him to do unthinkable acts.
Edgar Matobato says he and Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte have something in common. They both have blood on their hands. I want him to pay for what he did, for the many killings he ordered, he says. If we bring back the death penalty, I hope Duterte is the first to hang, and then I will follow. Decades before the president took his bloody war on drugs nationwide, Matobato says he was part of a group known in the Philippines as the Davao Death Squad. A 2008 UN investigation found the shadowy band of assassins was committing hundreds of murders in Davao, targeting street children and criminals, all during Duterte's decades-long run as the southern city's gun-toting, crime-fighting mayor, beginning in 1988. I personally killed around 50 people, Matobato says. He shows us a journal with names and dates of some of his victims, written by his wife because he can't read or write. Matobato also showed his Davao City ID. He says he was a ghost employee, earning just $100 a month to murder on command.
Who was ordering the death squad to kill all these people?
We got the orders from Mayor Duterte, he says. CNN cannot verify his story, but Matobato's graphic testimony in September before a Senate hearing on vigilante killings shocked the Philippines. The country's Human Rights Commission is investigating. The president's office says he changed some details in his story.
Very inconsistent. So if you go through the transcript in the Senate, you will see for yourself that Matobato is lying through his teeth.
The president's communications secretary, Martin Andanar, says if the testimony was credible, police would have built a case.
The Davao Death Squad that people are talking about, this is all legend. It's all legend. There's no death squad.
I did kill. I was only 3 months mayor.
Duterte told me he personally gunned down 3 people while mayor of Davao to set an example for his officers. But in media interviews, he said he doesn't remember Matobato and denies ordering vigilante killings. For several years, Matobato was in official witness protection. Now that Duterte's president, he's just in hiding. We meet at a safe house several hours from Manila. He's moved at least 10 times in the last year and is currently facing charges of kidnapping and illegal firearms possession. I was told to cut the body parts into pieces, he says. Matobato claims they dump bodies in crocodile farms, in the streets, and even in mass graves. But those graves have never been found.
Why are you the only one who has come forward?
He says many of them are scared. If we try to change, we're killed.
So you think if they find you, they'll kill you?
They will kill me, he says, because now their secrets have been revealed. Matobato says he's eager to confess his sins, to shine a light on the dark reality behind the president's deadly drug war.
The U.S. has now delivered on its promise to respond to Russia for meddling in its presidential elections. U.S. President Barack Obama has taken direct actions in the wake of hacking efforts during the elections by sanctions against Russia. Chukai Sports is next. EMTV signs content deals with the governing body of Cricket Australia. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The governing body of Cricket Australia has recently signed media rights agreements with Fiji and PNG. In PNG, Cricket Australia signed up content deals with National Broadcasting Corporation and EMTV. Both are free-to-air broadcasters. EMTV CEO Banu Sood said with EMTV's continuous relationship with Cricket PNG and with the content deals signed, broadcasting one of the most exciting cricket competitions in the world would be a plus. PNGFA Executive Committee Simon Koima expressed frustration at Lay Football Association's Acting Vice President Andrew Nirik Mata. This comes after Nirik Mata filed a court order to reinstate the suspended LFA President Roy Kamen. The court order was dismissed on Wednesday.
Koima said the repercussion of Nirik Mata getting a court order has put the LFA and Lay City dwellers on the line now that the bylaws of PNGFA have been breached. According to Koima, Acting President Andrew Nirik Mata was asked by the Office of PNGFA General Secretariat on numerous occasions to conduct proper election for LFA President's post, but Nirik Mata failed to comply. Getting a court order only added to the list of non-compliances by the Acting President.
And the consequences of him getting a court order has put Lay City dwellers on line. So what will happen to Lay City dwellers and other clubs in Lay, LFA, with the players? He didn't think about them. The consequences falls on the soldiers of Andrew Nirik.
Nirik Mata, who holds the post of LFA acting president since June, said there was no need for elections as they already have a committee in place. A sentiment that did not go down too well with Koima and Chung.
And I'm worried about the Lay City Dwellers Club who qualified for the whole league. What is he going to tell them? It's up to him to answer.
Dinero Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
12 of the 18 soccer associations in the Telecom National Soccer League have come together to create a new national competition to be known as the Super League. This was revealed at a press conference yesterday in Port Moresby, where 11 out of the 12 associations pledged their support for Chairman of Hekari United FC John Capinato to start the competition as soon as possible.
These soccer associations have pledged their support for Hekari boss John Capinato to start the competition as soon as possible. Only representatives from Lahi Soccer Association were not present. However, during the meeting, it was revealed that 7 of the 12 soccer associations were suspended by the PNG Football Association. This means 12 out of the 18 associations under the PNGFA are pushing for the Super League. Capinato says with the 12 presidents' support, they have unanimously agreed to form a new association in Papua New Guinea. The association will start registering from Vanimo to Milne Bay, from Manus and Kavieng to Western Province. The Hekari Football Club owner made his intentions known of registering the association with the Investment Promotion Authority and to have a constitution as well as registering with the PNG Sports Federation. Capinato further stated that 12 associations have given him the mandate to do so and will write to the sports minister informing the government and the people of Papua New Guinea that they will create a new soccer association. The 12 associations will endorse a new Super League made up of clubs leaving the Telecom National Soccer League. In light of that, Capinato said an interim executive would be put into place to go forward with the planning of the new Super League National Soccer Competition. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
When we come back, new CEO for the PNG Rugby Football League. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Rieta Rao has been appointed the new Chief Executive Officer for the Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League. This announcement was made today by the PNGRL board after their final meeting last night.
Rieta Rao from Vabukori village holds a bachelor's degree in accountancy from the Queensland University of Technology in Brisbane and was the general manager of Turumu Investments for more than 30 years. He has also been involved with rugby league for many years and has been treasurer of the PNGRFL.
Mr. Rao not only has the professional qualifications but is a Papua New Guinean leader of high integrity and importantly has the knowledge of the game, which is important for the sport as we go into our World Cup preparations this year and commence our other important domestic and international programs and obligations.
There were 25 applicants, 17 expatriates and 8 Papua New Guineans when the position was advertised. Vanguard then submitted 5 candidates, 2 nationals and 3 expatriates to be interviewed and screened.
The board deliberated on the recommendations and endorsed the recommendations of the subcommittee appointing Retau Rao as the new CEO for the PNGRL.
Rao says he was honored to be selected as the PNGRL CEO and is looking forward to the challenges ahead.
It's a different thing now to actually drive it, this organization. So I'm very, very excited at the new challenge, and I look forward to working with the team here, and the owners of the game are the people of Papua New Guinea, and all the leagues around the country. I'd like to touch base, and as a Papua New Guinean, I'm proud that the board had considered my application.
PNG Hunters chairman Graham Osborne says the board's decision on appointing Retau Rao as the CEO was transparent and fair.
Expatriates were of very high quality, and it took a lot of thinking and a lot of soul searching to see where we wanted to go. But I think deep down we always knew where we wanted to go. It was time for a Papua New Guinean, as far as I was concerned. It was time to bring somebody who had credibility and a person who loves rugby league. And those qualities don't come along every 5 minutes. And with all due respect to the 2 previous gentlemen, we've had 2 expatriates, and now it's time to bring it home.
The new CEO is on a 3-year contract and will start as soon as possible. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Preparations are well underway for the first ever World Surf League competition Papua New Guinea will be hosting. President Andrew Abel said the inaugural event will open doors for other events, including the hosting of a shortboard competition. The competition is expected of world's best by 120 million viewers worldwide.
As the time nears to hosting the first ever World Surf League tournament for longboarding to be staged in Madang from the 18th to the 25th of March, SAPNG President Andrew Abel says preparations into Pira are taking shape as World Surf League bodies are getting ready while groundwork, logistics and other necessary requirements are underway. Andrew, who visited China recently to showcase to World Surf League Committee what PNG has to offer to the world, says PNG will have the privilege of having some of the world's best surfers walk and surf on PNG soil, with the competition to be an invite-only event.
I made sure right from the outset that if the World Tour is coming to Papua New Guinea, Surfing Association of Papua New Guinea as the governing authority of surfing and surf tourism, PNG makes the final call. Because this is our turf, our country, and we want to showcase everything about Papua New Guinea, not just the surf. It has to showcase our people, our culture, our dancing, our food, and everything that makes Papua New Guinea who we are.
He said community engagement will be a key priority as SAPNG also prepares to host events in other parts of the country.
Our host, the Tupera Surf Club, which is led by Justice Nicholas Kirawam, he's the patron of the Tupera Surf Club. He's up there right now with his team on the ground, preparing the groundwork. We will be following up in the new year to coordinate things as well on the ground, the preparations of the tent city where the World Surf League athletes and officials will be staying, in addition to the scaffolding for the grandstand, the judging towers.
SAPNG Secretary Sylvia Pascoe said the event will benefit the local landowners immensely, especially exposing the district to the world.
From our part, everything's fine. We go and we set up a site, we do a great event, and everyone's happy, and that's what the world will see. But we're trying to encourage the local community to get more involved, to, put on tours, put on shows, give these people something to go down the road and take a look at, go have dinner in town, go and see the markets, have a bit of fun while you're there.
President Abel says the World Surf League event will become an annual event starting in March that will see every year surfers visit PNG from around the world. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
And that's a wrap for True Kai Sports. The weather details when we come back.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, cloudy with a chance of rain showers and thunderstorms overnight in Port Moresby and Daru. Fine, although cloudy with few rain showers developing overnight in Alotau and Popondetta, and cloudy with chances of showers developing in Kerma. In the Momase region, fine, although cloudy with showers developing in all centers. In the New Guinea Islands region, fine, although cloudy with chances of shower or two in Lorengau. Fine, although cloudy with chances of thunderstorms in the evening in Kokopo, Rabaul, Buka and Kimbe. And in the Highlands region, cloudy with rain showers and fog clearing in the morning in all centers. Forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours. Strong wind warning current for all coastal waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerma, to Hood Point to waters west of Samarai Island, including Vanimo to northern PNG Indonesian border. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island, Kerma to Yule Island, Hood Point to Samarai Island, west of Aitape to northern PNG Indonesian border, seas of 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, Samarai Island to Cape Vogel, Finchhafen through Vitia Strait, Siasi Island to Long Island, New Island to New Britain and Bougainville, seas of 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Long Island to Medang, Bogia to Wewak and Aitape, seas of 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas of 1 to 2 meters. Ocean forecast for PNG areas in the Coral and Bismarck Seas. Sea slight to moderate with northwest winds at 10 to 20 knots. In the Solomon Seas, sea slight with northeast to northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots. And in the Pacific Ocean, sea slight with northeast to northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Before we go, a quick look at our stories making headlines. Robbery suspects arrive from Kokopo. Prime Minister stresses growth and development for New Year. 8-year-old cancer patient appeals for help to get home. And that's been National EMTV News for this Friday, the 30th of December 2016. From the entire news team, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.